What's up YouTube, Olan Tech here, and we have some news that came out this week from Sony. There was a few things that was announced, but we're going to talk about two of them today in this video. And they're both things that I have my own opinions on. They may differ from your opinions, so let's just get into the video and talk about it. The first thing that I want to talk about with Sony is they did show the new controllers that they're going to use for the PSVR 2. Now, keep in mind that they did say that the PSVR is still a ways away from releasing. Sony confirmed that it's not going to release in 2021. So we do have some time before this VR headset releases. But they did show the controllers, and it kind of reminds me of the ones that were used, I believe it was the Oculus 2, with a similar design, which it kind of makes sense being that the PSVR 1 controllers were basically the old PlayStation Move controllers just upgraded, and this one does seem like a more VR type of controller. Aside from that, they did share some specs with the controller. They said it's going to have haptic feedback. They said it's going to have better detection for the controller. So when you're using the headset, you can be able to detect your hand movements a lot better. They said also it's going to have adaptive triggers, kind of similar to the DualSense controller. They did say that one controller will have these buttons, and the other controller will have these buttons. Kind of like the left one will have the square and triangle button, I believe, and the right one will have the X and circle button. I think that's how the original Move controllers were. So they are trying to show what this controller can do without having any footage of it. And personally, I'm not a fan of the VR thing. I thought it was just a gimmick. And me personally, I have used other VR headsets and they just make me dizzy, they make me nauseous. I was told that different headsets, based on how good they are and the quality of them, can differ in one's experience. But after already using a couple headsets and feeling dizzy and nauseous, I can only imagine it could be the same for me with the PlayStation VR headset. And the other thing I am not too excited for with this headset is the potential price tag for it. The first PlayStation VR cost roughly around $400 when it released. There was also a slightly cheaper bundle ones, or different options you had, but an average price was about $400, which is around the same price as the PlayStation 4. So with this VR being the newer one for the PlayStation 5, as well as being more advanced than the previous one, we can assume the price tag would either be similar or even more than the previous headset. And I don't think everyone is rushing out to pay the same amount for the PlayStation that they paid for the headset. The PSVR was selling, people were buying it, but it wasn't being bought by everybody. There was a lot of people who didn't buy it. So I don't think that they should be focusing on the VR headset, but they want to focus on it. They want to add more to it. The one thing that I would say is good for it is they started the PSVR a bit late in the PS4's life cycle. So with this one trying to be as early as they can with the PS5, it could potentially mean that they could produce more and better VR games. On the PS4 VR, they had some VR games that was, short and just strictly VR. Then you had games that released a VR mode, such as Resident Evil 7, Gran Turismo Sport. And you had games like Skyrim and Doom that had a standard version of the game and a VR version of the game. Despite those VR versions not being good based on the way the game controls, it was very weird and not as it should have been for those games. But I believe the best VR game that released for the PS4 VR was Borderlands, because it had actual movement controls, and from what I saw with videos and reviews, it was one of the best VR experiences on the PS4 VR. So being that this is early for the PS5, we could see some great games, or we could see more meh games, So I'm not too excited for the PSVR 2. Even if it does look cool and has some cool games, I'm not really gonna pay the price. If I don't have a PS5 anyway, so if I'm gonna get a PS5, I'm not gonna pay another $500 or so for a VR headset. That's just me. Now, the other thing that came out from Sony was Sony and RTS, whoever they are, I don't know who they are, they purchased the EVO tournaments for, I believe it was for about 20 years. And there's been no information on how much they paid, but a lot of people are on Twitter and YouTube freaking out, trying to find out what does this mean for certain game franchises. Because being that Sony did buy it, and Sony is, as they say, greedy with their exclusives, people are wondering, are we gonna see Smash Brothers again in these tournaments? Are we gonna see, if Killer Instinct will make a return in these tournaments? Because Killer Instinct is an Xbox exclusive, and that's not the case. So someone from Evo, I believe his name was Julio something. I'm sorry if I don't remember his name, but I'll put his tweet up here. He was basically saying that this doesn't mean that games will be excluded from the tournament. It means that they were seeking the help to put out these tournaments so that they can keep doing these tournaments despite the downfalls of the pandemic. They did say that this still means that we're going to include whoever we can. If Smash Brothers want to be part of it, then they will let Smash Brothers be part of it. If they want, I guess, Killer Instinct or any other first-party exclusive fighting games to make it, or any other third-party fighting games to be part of it, they will let them be part of it. They also had open registrations for the upcoming tournament in August. I don't know if they're still open. I believe they were closed when I checked Twitter, but check Twitter on Evo's page. They'll have a lot of tweets about registrations. They did announce some of the games that will be in August's tournament. Unfortunately, I can only remember 2 of them, which is Mortal Kombat 11 and Tekken 7. There's a couple of games I'm not familiar with those franchises, but as far as I could tell, no Dragon Ball Z fighting games, no Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games, no Smash Brothers yet. No, I think Street Fighter 5 is also in that tournament as well. So there is potential for more games to be available for that tournament, since it is in August and we still have a few months to go. But even Evo themselves tweeted saying that this is just so that Sony and RTS can help them get these tournaments out to you guys while still keeping up with the rules of the CDC and helping out with the pandemic, social distancing, trying to make sure the tournament goes off smoothly and safely. So it was not a need for anyone to get upset about Sony buying EVO, because they're not trying to keep EVO from everyone else. They just want to help EVO get these tournaments out there and keep the events moving. So that's a good thing. I think any company could have stepped in to help them. I think all the companies should have came together and said, we will all help you get these tournaments going to keep the fighting community happy and to keep the tournaments coming, because there are really some impressive moments in these tournaments. But that's my video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy my other videos. So leave a like in this video or a dislike if you're not happy, and let me know in the comments what you think. I'm open for a discussion in the comments. So I'm Olan Tech, and I'll see you guys on the next one.